And welcome to the Spotlight. This week we are interviewing pretty much the man of the moment, Mylo, the average sniper. How you doing, buddy?
I'm all right, mate. How you doing?
Good. I'm probably a lot better than you, mate. I imagine this has been a very rough week for you.
A bit of an understatement, but yeah, it hasn't been my finest moment. But
Well, we'll get more into that a bit later in the interview, mate, because with this, even though what prompted this was a pretty big incident, I still like to find out more about every person that I do an interview with. So we're going to start with some of the basic stuff, mate, and work our way into the more
okay,
dramatic stuff later.
yeah.
So how
All right.
old are you, buddy?
I am 19
9.
as of April.
And Mrs. Kids?
I have a girlfriend. I have no children, luckily.
At 19, I'd be horrified if you said you did.
Yeah,
And what do you do for a living?
that's not on the agenda for a while.
Do you have a job outside of being a content creator?
I do not. I did, but I no longer do. From we'll just say current circumstances. I'm surplus to requirement. So
Like
yeah,
like a lot of people at the moment, mate.
yeah.
And do you have any other hobbies outside of gaming?
I'm very passionate about motorcycles, and that's about it. Motorbikes and gaming. That's pretty
Dirt
much
bikes or
all I
road
really
bikes?
do. Road bikes and racing
Yep.
bikes. That's my cup of tea.
Now, what is the origin of the name Mylo, the average sniper? Where did you come up with that from?
I actually didn't. It was an old friend of mine. This is going way back. What? About 5? No, maybe 6 or 7 years. Yeah, about 7 years. I used to have a different YouTube channel playing GTA 5 with a friend, and he was very
Yep.
creative. I told him about this new channel that I made, and he watched some of the videos where I pretty much, it was back in Arma 2 days,
Yep.
pretty much focused on only using the sniper rifles. And at that point, I didn't have a name. It was my real life name on the
Yep.
channel. And I don't know where it came from, but he just sent me a random message about 2 weeks after he saw that. We hadn't spoken for a while with the name Mylo the Average Sniper. And I was like, yeah, I like that. That'll do. That's the one. I like that. So it kind of just stuck
That's
since.
pretty cool. That is. Okay, so who or what got you into gaming?
Ooh. I think it would have been my uncle who gave me his PlayStation 2
Yep.
way back when I was a little kid, and I kind of just instantly clicked. Something about it, my brain was just like, yeah, I enjoy this a lot. I can't remember. I think it would have been Spyro,
Yeah.
Year of the Dragon, maybe, that I used to play in and out and all those kind of games. And then it finally went to the Xbox 360, where it was like your classic Call of Duties and stuff
Yeah.
like that. Xbox One, and at that point was kind of the transition period between I'm not really enjoying console games as much as looking at people play computer games
Yep.
on YouTube. So I spent a lot more time watching people play, people like Frankie and um oh god, a lot of the names are escaping me. There's one guy that will come to me later, but he was a big influence. He was Australian, I believe. That might be insulting if he was from New Zealand. One of the two. It'll come to me later, but
Mm-hmm.
yeah, I watched him playing Arma 2, and at that point I was like, I need to get a computer. I need to play
Yep.
this. This is the next level of what I want to do. I'm going to mute my phone.
All right.
Let's expand again.
And what is your favorite game of all time?
Well, Daisy Standalone. That's that's an easy question. Definitely Daisy Standalone.
Okay, so you got yourself a nice PC. Tell us a bit about it. What sort of specs has it got?
It is a custom built PC that I made myself. It has a i9 9900K overclocked to 5.1 gigahertz, I believe. It's got an RTX 2080 Ti.
Ooh.
It has 64 gigabytes of DDR4 RAM. We have a 10 terabyte hard drive for storage. We have a 4 terabyte SSD, a 1 terabyte NVMe M.2, and I think that's about it. It's all custom water cooled and all that, so it looks nice and fancy on the inside in a massive case. But I think that's all the important parts.
You'll have to post a pic online of that. That sounds very, very, very impressive. I don't think I've ever heard of anyone
I
having that
definitely
much
will do.
RAM.
It's very useful for rendering
Yep.
because rendering eats up a lot of RAM. The more RAM you've got, the faster you can edit, and the faster it will load the video clips when you're skipping through and kind of cutting through
There
them.
you go.
It's incredibly
Yeah, a
useful.
boomer like me, I don't understand that shit. I don't even know how much RAM I've got on my computer. Maybe 16. I'm not sure. Um,
I think I went a bit overkill. 32 would have done, but when I was going all out and I was spending that kind of
yeah.
money, then I thought, might as well.
I don't imagine you've got any upgrades planned for it.
I don't think I do. When the new series of RTX, the 30 series comes out, I'll probably look at upgrading then. But for the minute,
Yep.
I've hit a sweet point of there's nothing I really need to do to it, and there's nothing I really want to do to it. So it's not going anywhere for a little
So
while.
why did you start creating content yourself?
I found that I actually enjoyed. It began me not making videos on Daisy. I would record them, edit them, and then pretty much just leave them on my hard drive because I was, as most people are when they first start, very embarrassed of my own
Mm.
voice and very embarrassed of listening to myself, and it was all a bit just cringy and ugh, and it still is, you know what I mean? But yeah, I started doing that when I thought that's what other people do, I should do it too. And then I realized that actually I enjoy the content creation and the editing and the kind of bringing it all together and finding the right music and editing it in and the right effects and getting it all right. I found that as fun as playing the game anyway.
Mhm.
So as I started to play the game more and get more content, I found that I was actually spending more time editing and uploading it, and I was enjoying that more. It's hard to describe, but it just started as something that I thought I should do because I thought that's what everyone
Yep.
did, so I did it, and then I actually found that I really, really did enjoy it, and I had, like, a bit of a passion for it, so it kinda just grew from there and kept going and kept going.
And what recording software do you use now?
I use OBS.
Yep.
It's kind of I started off with Fraps until I learned that absolutely destroys your performance, and then I moved to OBS, and since then I've spent countless hours trying to get all my settings right and get all that perfect, but I think I've hit a sweet point now. But yeah, OBS is definitely the way to go if anyone's looking for where to start.
That's what I'm using at the moment is OBS for this. I usually use Shadow Play just for gaming because it's good for that. But I believe there's a replay buffer function or something that's in OBS as well, which could basically do like what Shadow Play does with the.
Yes. Yeah.
Um,
The ease of Shadow Play is you never have to load a program up. It's just
yeah,
there. So if you do completely forget everything, you hit two buttons and it's recorded the last X amount of
yeah.
minutes for you, which is I've used that a lot in the past when I've done something and I'm like, wow, that was actually really cool. And then I look over at OBS to save it and it wasn't recording and I'm like, oh no.
And what about editing software? What do you use to edit your videos?
I use Sony Vegas Pro
Yep.
17.
So many people use Sony Vegas.
Yeah. It's quite it's pretty much evenly split, I think, between or maybe more Sony Vegas, but it's very similar the amount of people who use Sony Vegas and the amount of people who use I think it's Adobe Premiere
Yep,
Pro
that's what I use.
because they're two pretty similar programs. But I just started off with Sony Vegas because when I searched it up on YouTube, I'm pretty sure the first video that came up was Sony Vegas. So I was like, yep, that'll do.
Yep.
And I haven't had a reason to change since. And I know the program pretty much inside out now. So I don't really see a reason to change. It does everything that I need it to do. And I'm happy
I've
with it.
always thought most people
So,
started with Sony Vegas because they could download a free copy of it.
which is something I did for a little
Yep.
while, which is not something I'm proud of.
I think
But yeah,
probably 90% of content creators out there who use Sony Vegas probably
yeah,
did the same themselves. Thought, why not?
oh
I can
yeah,
try it out.
definitely,
And then, they look at getting a paid copy for themselves.
yeah.
So, what is your best video that really stands out for you as one that you're proud of for your editing of it?
Ooh, that's difficult. I think my favorite video in total is. That's actually really difficult. There's one which was hostage execution.
Hmm.
It was about a story of there used to be a big faction on my server called Sugar Hill Bandits, and they kind of got on with their lives in real life. They kind of just all faded away, got on with their jobs and their kids and all that, so they all disappeared. And it was an old recording I found on an old hard drive of us playing together,
Yep.
and it just brought back so many memories that that video is pretty much just being nostalgic. And I just like the way it was edited and how it all comes to light. It really shows what Daisy
Yep.
can be like for big groups. Just in a whole, that video, whenever I watch it, it makes me happy because it brings back memories for me, and for other people, it kind of jogs that thing because everyone's had someone in their Daisy kind of life or gaming life in general where one day you're like, yeah, night mate, I'll see you tomorrow. And you didn't know, but that's the last time you talked to them for whatever reason. So I think that kind of video really jogs people's memories on these kind of events and how important it is
Yep.
to savor every moment you have with your friends and your groups.
Now, did you play the mod?
Arma 2?
Yes.
Yes, quite heavily. I think in total I had a couple thousand hours
Mhm.
in Arma 2.
Do you look back at the mod like a lot of people do these days? And like I know for myself, I only played a handful of hours of the mod, but I look back with a lot of melancholy for the early days of Daisy standalone. Do you look back like a lot of people? I think they've got rose-colored glasses personally, but look back at the mod and think that was its glory days, or you still think they're ahead of Daisy?
I look at the mod and go, that was incredibly fun, but it's moved on.
Yep.
And I have that kind of mentality of things move on, things change, you keep going. And obviously there is, because I've been recording for so long, I do find every now and then a hard drive in my cupboard, go through it, and it's got old recordings of Arma 2 from X amount of years ago, and you just sit there for hours looking through unedited footage because you just go, this was so much
Yeah.
fun. But then when you really think about it, you don't think about how buggy and annoying and slow and all the problems it had. You just kind of look at it and go, yeah, that was the best.
Yep.
But if you really think about it, it wasn't. So in my personal opinion, I loved Arma 2 mod so much, but it's not what people think it was, if you
Yeah.
understand what I mean like that. It's
That's what I
things have
said
moved
about
on.
the
I think
rose-colored glasses. People look back at it,
yeah.
and the fondness of the memories they created in the game can sometimes overshine just how buggy it was and how little it had in
Yeah,
the way
nostalgia
of
rules everything.
yeah. So what is it about
Yeah,
DayZ
I
that
definitely
makes you
think
love it?
Daisy. Oh, that's difficult. That is difficult. I think it's the hmm. I'm very interested in Russia, Russian weapons, Russian military, Russian jobs, the language, the place. Just as a whole, I'm very interested in Russia.
Mhm.
And I've always kind of been interested in that style of kind of survivally, not outback, but out in the wild on your own 2 feet, doing your own thing. And I think DayZ is the only game that captures that properly, really, really captures that essence of what a survival game should be. I think the fact that DayZ is just so infinite, there are so many possibilities and so many things, and the community is so strong that it will never die out. It's never going to end. And that's something that just really captures me.
Yep.
The fact that no matter what, DayZ doesn't end. It's not a story game where things
Yeah.
just stop.
I love getting asked that
I
question,
think
what's
that's
the end
why
game of DayZ? Whatever you want it to be.
respawning.
Yeah. Pretty much, oh, I'm dead.
That's the end game of DayZ.
But if you're on a server that has
Yeah.
bases and stuff like that, it's not really an end game for you. It's just a chance to get back into it. There's no ending. It just goes on until you get bored of it.
Yeah. Yeah. DayZ ends when you decide it ends. That's the only time that DayZ ends. Is when you get bored
Yeah.
of it or whatever the reason is. DayZ only ends when you decide it does.
If you could add anything to the game, what would it be and why?
Ooh, that's difficult. If I could add anything to the game, I would like to see more attachment customization on weapons because I think attachments really change the way the game is played. I think having the ability, there are mods out there like Mass's many item overhaul does an amazing job of it with like the muzzle brakes and the different mags and the different scope. it completely changes the way that people play the game. Obviously, that's PvP focused, but a lot of DayZ is PvP focused. If it was my job, I would add more weapon customization.
Who is your favorite DayZ content creator?
Oh, that's really difficult. I don't know if I really have a favorite because everyone is so different. Obviously, there's the whole Frankie started it
Hmm?
and Frankie is God, but while I incredibly enjoy Frankie's videos for the pure movie like surgical precision of his editing, there are some people out there with personalities that you just can't get over. I can't remember. I'm really terrible with names. His name General Sam. He rips on DayZ a lot, but I really enjoy it
That's a name.
because of his personality.
Sept-
And while yes, he's tearing a new asshole for DayZ, it's still fun.
Septic Falcon did a
'Cause
video, and I was drinking a drink at the time, and it was after Septic Falcon had done after General Sam had done one of his rant about DayZ being dead videos, and Septic just had this throwaway comment. He was going, and some fucking idiot, what's his name, genital warts. And oh my god, mate, I just pissed myself laughing. I sprayed my drink all over my iPad. It was literally one of the funniest things I've ever heard.
That's brilliant.
Yeah, it was gold. And I like to think that because a lot of people have said to me, why do you watch these videos? Why am I interviewing you and things like that? And I said, you've got to reach out and try to understand things from the other perspective and listen to their argument.
Yeah.
Because after you break down the hyperbole of a General Sam video or Silo's videos and stuff like that where they've attacked the game, there's actually legitimate points in there. And
Yeah.
it's in everyone's nature, especially on a platform like YouTube, to hyperbole something, to over exaggerate it.
100%.
What's his bloody name? It's really bad that I've forgotten it. There's another guy who still streams quite often and that, and I actually went into his chat and we had a good chat about it, and he goes, yeah, of course I exaggerate it, but that's YouTube. That's how the algorithm works, and people have got to understand that when people are making a living off this platform, they've got to play the way the platform encourages them to.
Well, yeah, 100%. Drama creates an audience. The bigger and louder they can be about something, the more people are going to watch it.
Yeah.
But there is something when you've played DayZ for so long and when you are so genuinely in love with DayZ, the kind of videos where they're just tearing DayZ a new asshole, I don't watch them to go, oh, fuck you, DayZ is an amazing game. I really enjoy DayZ. That's not what I'm there to do. I'm just there to laugh.
Yeah.
Because, yeah, I'm well aware of all the bugs in DayZ. You come across a bug every hour, at least. But that's not a problem.
Yeah.
That's why I find General Sam's videos so entertaining, because I'm not offended by the fact that he hates the game, or doesn't hate it, or whatever you want to say. That doesn't bother me. I'm just watching it purely for the fact that I find it funny.
Yeah. And as you said, with the bugs and all the rest of it, like you were watching the end of the podcast I did just before, and we were laughing, remembering some of those horrible bugs that we've had over the years.
Oh, Christ.
Yeah. Status reports. Did you used to read them?
Yes.
What did you think of them?
In what aspect?
Overall, like, it's what was your opinion of them?
I think a lot of it was made to sound more important than it was.
Yep.
I don't know how to describe this. It just seems like they tried to make it seem like they were doing more work than they were. Because to the people who don't believe that the dev team are doing anything, they need to make it seem like they are. The people who know what they're doing and trying to fix know that they're doing quite a lot. But it just felt that, I don't know, it's kind of hard to describe it. I don't really have a strong opinion on them. They were kind of just something that I brought up and went,
I sort of get
okay,
where you're coming from, in that maybe doing them fortnightly back in the day was a bit too often. maybe monthly would have been better, because
Yeah.
then they would have had more to. You have a feeling they were fleshing it out to make it sound like they.
Yeah.
Yeah, okay. Because a lot of it went straight over my head. Being a boomer that I am, I would just read stuff and go, "What the hell does that mean?" I used to watch
Yeah.
Septic Falcon's videos um, in the hope that he would, break it down a bit more to help me understand what they were actually talking about in there. But the one thing I do miss, and I say this time and time again, is I miss the content creator section, community spotlight.
Yeah. That's kind of been moved over to their Twitter. Their Twitter's a lot more active now on the community
Yeah,
side of things, but it's not as responsive as I wish it
yeah,
was, because there are a lot of people doing a lot of great things for DayZ, and it doesn't seem like they want to bring that to light. And I personally believe that the modders are keeping this game alive for most people right now. I know a lot of DayZ players would have disappeared if it wasn't for modding.
yeah.
I feel like they need to show a bit more, not respect, but a bit more of a spotlight on the people who are really doing massive work for this
Did you
game.
watch the interview I did with the
Because
expansion mod team?
I've watched some of it. I
Yeah.
haven't been through all of
They
it
actually
yet.
said that they do have a good line of communication with the dev team. And they were actually quite defensive of the dev team as well, in that people have got to give them a bit of slack, because they are doing. They basically said, without the dev team having done what they've done, there's no way we could be doing what we're doing.
No, yeah,
Yeah,
100%. People find it very easy to rip on the dev team because they don't know what the DayZ devs, they don't know how much it takes to do what they're doing. They don't understand. If you don't do it yourself, you don't understand how much it takes to fix this bug or that bug or whatever it is.
yeah.
So people find it very easy to say they're doing fuck all when realistically they're doing a hell of a lot. Maybe not as much as they could, but they're doing a hell of a lot.
Mm. What, if any, advice would you give to the dev team if they happen to watch this video?
It would be along the lines of just be more open.
Yeah.
I feel like the dev team have kind of closed up a little bit because obviously people rip on them constantly
Oh,
for
yeah.
the work they're doing. So they feel like I my opinion is they feel like they kind of need to hide it away a little bit so people don't rip on it. But people like me and other people in the community, we want to know everything. We want to know what's going on. We
Yep.
want to know what you're working on. We want to know what's coming next. I just feel like it makes them vulnerable to the people who like to just rip on them when they do say what they're doing or what they've done or what they're working on or whatever. I would just like more transparency. That's about it.
What is your biggest gripe with DayZ?
Ooh. I don't know. I'm really biggest gripe with DayZ. I think it would have to come down to the dev team they've been assigned. Their dev team is incredibly passionate and incredibly good at what they're doing, but there could be so many more people working on the game.
Yeah, it is kind of sucky that they're down to 10 people now.
Yeah, they're just killing off the team. Well, not killing them off. Obviously, they're moving them to different
Mm.
assets or whatever they're doing behind the scenes. I'm not too formed on that, but I feel like they could really, really thrive with more people.
What are you
I think that would be my main gripe.
What are you looking forward to the most in DayZ?
Oh, that's difficult. Full mod tool support. When people get the tools for animations and stuff like this, Daisy's just going to explode. It's going to be so clean because there are so many people out there that are so passionate about what they do and have so much skill in their field, be it whatever, but they can't bring it to Daisy right now because they don't have the tool that they need to do it.
Yep.
I think when people are given animation support or animation import support, whatever it is, I'm not a modder, so I don't know these terms, but when people are given these things, Daisy is just going to explode because the modders are ridiculous. In giving them everything they need, it's going to be insane. It really will be insane. I really look forward to that. I really do.
On the topic of mods, now that we have them, which mod do you love the most, and what mod would you love to see introduced?
Ooh, that's difficult. Um, Probably the mod that I love the most would be, I think, yeah, I think it'd be Mass's many item overhaul because it's so unique. It brings so many items to the game from every different field, from new military tier guns to chessboards with chess pieces that you can literally play chess in DayZ
Yep.
with, to just retextured coats and or new binoculars, and it's so varied. It's massive. There's something in it for literally everyone. It's the work that that man has put in is ridiculous. It really, really is. Especially since he's a one man band. It is insane. That mod, every update, you know it's going to be something good. You know it's going to be something good. That's probably why it's my favorite mod because it is just so well made and clean. But it's really difficult to pick a favorite mod because a lot of the mods on the workshop are incredibly well made with a lot of passion in them and a lot of time and a lot of
Yep.
skill. So it is really difficult to pick a favorite.
And what mod would you love to see introduced?
Ooh, I'm not good with these kind of things because there's so many varied mods now. You've got amazing base building mods. You've got loads of incredible vehicles, loads of weapons, loads of clothing.
Mm.
There's loads of new maps. I would possibly like to see a mod with a lot of custom buildings in
Yeah,
it,
that would be good.
Russian styled custom buildings that server owners can map on their server and place wherever, and it would really change the way that Daisy's played if there were different buildings that spawn specific things in different places. And I don't know. I think that would be
I actually
incredible
think
to
that'd
have
be good.
loads of new places to
Yeah,
explore.
I think that would be a good one. Has your style of play changed at all?
Yes. I used to be very kill everything that moves whenever it moves as soon as I can for the PvP content. And my style is heavily changed with the kind of videos that I want to create. So it has turned more into a slower, more I don't know how to describe this, but it's more of a explanatory gameplay. And don't know if that's the right
Mm.
term for it. I don't know. It's just less run and gun, instant kill everything, jumping about, spinning around, shooting people, and it's just more slow
Yep.
paced and more. I don't really know the term for it. It's just slowed down a lot.
Yep.
It's a lot less
More
Call of
calculated?
Duty
More
like.
calculated?
Yes, yes, precisely. That's the word that I was looking for. More calculated.
Yep. And what is your optimal number of people per server?
From a server owner standpoint, I would say around 60 for me
Yep.
because the amount of mods that are on the server, obviously, the more people you go above 60, the more the Daisy server just tanks. It's not made to hold more than 60 people. I do see why people love servers like Phobia that have is it
Yeah.
127 now? People love that. There are people everywhere. It's mad, but they can get away with it. But personally, for me, for the level of mods that I like to be on a server, it's 60, 70, maybe stretch up to 80 on really good
Yep.
hardware. And it's all very well optimized, but around that area, 60 to 80.
No worries. So now we've hit the rapid fire questions, and what I want you to do is just say the first thing that comes into your mind when I ask the question, okay?
Oh, God. Okay.
Favorite long range weapon?
Mosin.
Least favorite long range weapon?
The two supporter, if that's even classed as long range.
Favorite automatic weapon?
Oh, the AK 74,
Least favorite automatic weapon?
the M4.
AOS?
Sometimes military areas.
First person or third person?
First person every day.
Favorite server?
Oh, my own. No, can I say
Yeah.
that?
Favorite place on the map?
Oh, that's difficult. The New Scalisti, because it's just beautiful.
Public or private service?
Private community.
Yep. Okay. Now we are
Oh,
into.
that was stressful.
It's about to get more stressful, mate, because now we are
Oh,
into
I'm well aware.
the viewer
Out of the frying pan.
questions. So, for those who don't know, we
Yeah.
should probably do a bit of a recap. Mylo, you released a video about a week and a bit ago, which
Yes.
brought the Dayz community to an uproar. People were lighting the pitchforks and grabbing the torches, and I know I said that backwards, but I said it deliberately because it was a bit insane. It was a bit crazy. The
Yeah.
reaction from everyone, from other content creators to Dayz fans and everyone in between, had an opinion on what happened. So I'll let you, mate. You can explain what happened before we get into the viewer questions.
Oh, where do I start? There was a clip in the video which was, I don't really know the term for it, but basically I was stupid enough to leave a clip in the video where it's very blatantly obvious that I have some sort of admin ability on. You can tell in the video that my food and water hits red. When that happens, you start to slowly trickle away health. It just starts going down and down and down. And that didn't happen. At the time, I didn't think anything of it, didn't realize, and then came back to the video next day and it's exploded. And I'm sat there like, what? Oh, shit. So that's kind of how that went down. It was a clip in a video of me using admin powers to my advantage, effectively.
Yep. That's pretty much because I watched the video, and that is pretty much
Yeah.
a complete summation of what happened. So we'll get into the viewer questions now before we do the final ones between me and you. Happy Wappy says, what brought me to Milo's servers in the first place was, of course, his videos on YouTube, which I thoroughly enjoyed. At no point did I think it wasn't partially orchestrated or engineered. It's entertainment, and he has never said otherwise. I've been playing on Milo's servers and been part of the community now for about 7 months. Here are some questions. Why did you use some clans for your content without their knowledge?
What was that? Sorry? Go for that one again.
Why did you use some clans for your content without their knowledge? So, why did you use other players for your videos without letting them know if they were scripted and you had these abilities going without their basically their consent, their knowledge of that they were going to be in a video?
Because stupidly enough, I thought at the time that that was the best justified way of doing it. These clans on the servers are huge. They have a lot of loot and a lot of money. And in my mind, it was, I don't agree with this now, looking back on it a lot and thinking about it a lot. But my justification for it was they have a lot of loot. They're not going to notice. It won't make a difference.
Yep.
Which is a really stupid way of thinking about it. It's the same way of thinking I'm going to rob Kim Kardashian's house because she has so much money she's not going to notice these things go missing, which is stupid when you think about it. But at the time, when these things did happen, that was my train of thought.
Yep. And yeah, it is. I won't pull any punches with that one. It was a stupid way of thinking, but you know,
Yeah.
you're saying it now. His next question is, can you discuss why you took a break from making videos? Because there was about a 3-month gap there between your previous video.
Yeah. This will probably be brought up in a later point, but when I'm trying to think of the best way to word this to make it make sense. Besides the main reason, I got incredibly ill, so I spent a lot of time in and out of hospital and stuff like that. I didn't really have the time. It wasn't on my agenda. I couldn't really physically do it.
Yep.
But at the same time, even if I physically could, I wouldn't have, because I don't know how to describe this. I don't know the right words to use, but it was becoming so boring. Daisy was becoming so boring playing like that when you have everything you want at your fingertips. And if you want to, you could be an impenetrable tank just mowing everything down. It becomes so boring when nothing's on the line, if that makes sense. I got bored of DayZ because I could do whatever I wanted whenever I wanted,
Yeah.
and there was no downside. I knew that if I died, I could just spawn all my gear back in. That's what it just got boring. That's the main reason for why I went for so long, is because I got bored.
What sort of pressures are you under to keep making your content?
That's part of the reason that the video that was the most recent video that was uploaded, that was removed, that's why that came out so rushed and so fast with barely any announcement, because people started making, looking back on it now, it was obviously rubbish, but people started making stupid threats. Like, y- looking back on it now, I should have taken it differently, but you get people messaging saying that they're going to kill themselves if you don't upload. And obviously, looking back on that now, it's ridiculous. But when you're talking to some kid, like little kid, in your Discord channel, it starts to get a little bit more real. And I panicked and basically did all of that shit that I shouldn't have done, thinking that I was doing the right thing for the sake of content. Which, looking back on it now, makes me feel like an asshole.
What about the sponsorship, though?
Oh, Christ. Yeah, looking back on that now, that was not. I don't know how to word this. It wasn't the right way to go about that at all. I thought in my mind that making a video and paying off bills kill two birds with one stone, but looking at it from the outside, that just looks greedy. I don't know a better word for it.
No,
It just,
no,
it's
I
ridiculous. That's
disagree
not
with you
something
there.
that I should have
I
done.
disagree with you totally there, mate. There is nothing wrong with you having a sponsor for a video. But I know people have summarized that that's one of the only reasons you did the video was for money. And again, there's nothing wrong with that. It's a job. You know, you're making a living from making YouTube content. But I know there are some purists out there who would take umbrage at the fact that, oh, he just made it for money. Well, yes, it'd be great if everyone did everything in life for, more
The better of
better of mankind, the
humanity.
better of Daisy, and all the rest of it.
Yeah.
But there's nothing
Yeah.
wrong with that. But I know that is a concern that some people did have, that the video was only released because there was money involved.
At the end of the day, will never make content purely for money, ever. If I was doing it for money, I wouldn't have taken such a long break because I was bored of it.
Mm.
I completely fucked myself over financially during those months, because when you've got no income at all, obviously you've got no money, you can't pay bills, you can't do anything. But when I would never make content purely for money,
Yeah.
because YouTube money is not great. The only way that a video survives is a sponsorship. In my eyes, it was killing two birds with one stone. But looking back on it now, it's just doesn't quite sit right of, hey, I've been gone for X amount of months. First thing in the video is a sponsorship. I should have gone around that differently than I did. It just felt very cheap.
I think
It just felt
it
cheesy.
was, and it was just another straw on the camel's back. For the main issue is what happened in the video itself,
Yeah,
and the
maybe.
fact that there was a sponsorship on it. I think people just felt, oh, that just adds a bit of
People could tug on that
bit
as
of
well.
extra griminess to what's a dirty situation as it is. But don't be too hard on yourself for doing it. I don't think the majority of people watching this would hate you for having done a sponsorship deal. Plenty of other people have done it before. You know, there's streamers who have it in their streams, and I've just started doing it with nerdordie.com. Shameless plug. Link in the description. But it's, there's costs
I
involved in
feel like
making
it
content.
isn't. I wouldn't bring you back at the point of making the video just for the money. It takes weeks and weeks to make a video like that.
Yeah.
Weeks. There are so many other ways that you can make more money than that in that time space. And I wouldn't make a video purely for the money because there are so many other things that I could do that would be so much quicker and so much easier to make money. It just it wouldn't make any sense to just do that for money because it's not a good way of making money right now.
Next question is from United Pig Blush. If Mylo can make the same level of entertainment in his content without all staging, he would be on another level. His editing, visuals, and voice are just perfect for Dayz. I really hope he will turn this around. Well, that actually wasn't really a question. That was more of a statement. But the next one is from Silent Boy. I generally really enjoy his videos, knowing full well they are scripted or fake. He was the reason I bought Dayz and the reason I still play to this day. I played on the MTAS servers for quite a while and I've had an amazing time. I get the reason for all the hate, but I don't understand why it needs to be severe. He's 18, well, you're 19. He's made mistakes
Yeah.
as we all have. I want to know most of all, and this is probably a big one, what will change, if anything? So let us know. Tell us where your mind's at the moment.
Okay, well, first off, I appreciate you playing the servers. Thank you. And I'm glad you're enjoying it. I'm glad that I could bring you into Dayz, but this is a big point and this might take a while to explain, but I don't want to have to keep bunny hopping around, joke intended, around the fact that these videos are kind of fake, kind of scripted, maybe not. This is real, maybe it's not, if you know what I mean. I want it to be so much more transparent because I'm sick of having to pretend. Don't know how to word this. I don't want to have to pussyfoot around the whole subject anymore because I don't want people to get offended or I'm scared of telling the truth or whatever. This is why I'm doing this.
Mm.
I want people to know that there are sections of the videos which are completely scripted. All the cinematics as well, they're recorded off the server. There are sections of the video which are made to look like gameplay, which are scripted with people. But the fact that there are also sections of the video that are admin abuse with real people, that's not right. That's where I'm drawing the line. There will still be segments of videos which are scripted, but I don't want to make impersonating Dayz videos. I don't know how to describe this. I want to make entertainment. That's all I want to do. I want to entertain people, but I need it to be so much more transparent for the people who want to know whether what bit is real or what is, so people aren't left guessing whether this was real, this was not real, because it's all going to be real
You
content,
know,
but some of it's going to
you
be
don't. I don't think you need to be so analytical on breaking it down and all the rest of it. I think the big thing everyone wants is, like, personally myself, and I said this earlier on the podcast, the thing that upset me the most is knowing that you ruined some people's experience. You know, there's
yes,
other comments that are going to be coming up, which will touch more on this, but by you having the admin powers you had, going up against players who
yeah,
didn't have them, we all know you
yeah,
shouldn't get attached to your character, you shouldn't get attached to your gear, you shouldn't get attached to this. But for some people now, like, I don't know what the um, feedback has been like in your Discord. I know there were some comments. I was loitering around there just watching, and I posted a link to this in there because I wanted to hear from people who are on your servers as well. But the fact that some people's experience got ruined for content creation
yeah.
is kind of shitty. But at the same
I'm
time, what you do
that's
is fucking amazing. You're an amazing content creator, and I don't think anyone can deny that. And
I wouldn't say that what I do is amazing. I would say that the way I edit things might be appealing to some people, or the way the content comes out could be appealing to people. But what I've done in the past with the whole admin abuse, that's far from
yeah,
amazing. And that's the point that I want to make. There will still be sections of the video which are going to be recorded in a off locked private server to completely differentiate between real server, real people, real encounters, real recording, and bits that are staged for storytelling or continuity purposes. Those will be completely separate. And the whole admin abuse shit is not going to continue because that's not something I want to be known for. It's not something that I want people in X amount of years to stumble across my channel and go, "Oh yeah, that's that guy that just admin abuses, isn't it?" That's not what I want to be known. I don't want to be looked down by I don't want to be looked down on by everyone. I want to make entertainment that people find entertaining, but I don't want to ruin people's experiences anymore. Because that's the thing that I've spent the most time thinking about is how fucked it was that I was willing to sacrifice people's enjoyment on my own server for the sake of a recording.
Yeah.
Because that's, for lack of a better term, just fucked in every sense. That's something that isn't going to continue. Like I said, there are going to be real encounters, real PvP, real sections on the real servers, and then there's going to be the scripted, or if you want, faked parts of the videos for storytelling or continuity or whatever it is that will be on a separate, locked private server to completely keep the server's population and the fake bullshit to make sure that that can't entwine again, that no one's going to get caught in the crossfire or purposefully targeted against an unfair source, which is me. If you know what I mean.
Mm.
I'm basically saying that I want to make sure that I keep everything that's real separated from everything that isn't, and make sure that I'm not preying on people anymore.
Yep.
Because alongside it being fucked, it gets really boring. Really fucking boring. Just kind of deciding, oh, who am I gonna what's gonna go on today? What do I need for this video? And blah blah blah. It's shit. And the more time I've spent thinking about the whole situation, the more uncomfortable it makes me feel to think that I was sacrificing the enjoyment of people who play on my server so I could get a 4-minute recording. And that's pretty much it. I want to keep everything that isn't completely 100% real away from everyone that is playing completely 100% real. So the bits that are staged or pre-planned or faked, they will be on a different locked server for only the people who are involved, only the people who are going along with me. That will be kept separate. And those parts are still going to be in the video because at the end of the day, like I said, I want to make entertainment. I want to entertain people. I don't want to be a Daisy Let's Player. I want to make entertainment, and Daisy is just my media of, or my,
Your blank canvas.
yeah, the way that I do that. But I don't want to fuck up anyone's day anymore. I don't want to do that. I don't know how else to describe it. There's a million words to describe it, but I can't think of any of them. It's just really fucking shit. That's pretty much the best
I'm
that
going
I
to
can
ask a
think of.
question that I know a lot of people have got on their mind. Um, would you have stopped if you hadn't been caught?
Yes. As I said earlier, it gets really boring. I spent months away because it's just so plain and flat and boring. I miss when, way back when everything was just completely normal. Because I miss getting that real surge of adrenaline and that real intense gunfights where you know at a split second you could properly lose everything. And now it's just become such, I wouldn't say a chore because I still enjoy it. I still enjoy the editing, but it became such a chore trying to get the content. when it was all fake. It just, well, not all fake, but you know what I mean. When it was as it was with the admin abuse, it just was so monotonous and flat and repetitive. There was no real drive to do it because it wasn't really entertaining to do.
So,
All I was thinking about is, what is this going to look like for the video?
so on that point, I'm going to jump to a question from another massive YouTuber, Toprek. And he just wrote one word, why? And I'm interpreting that as, why did you start doing it?
Because as I got down, I don't know. I need to think of the best way to describe what I'm trying to say. As time went on, I went from being a Daisy Let's Player, where the episodes were just me recording me playing Daisy and it going, to I wanted to create entertainment. So it might start off with, I don't know, maybe I was running around and I did get a clip of me fighting some people. And then my brain would start thinking about what I want it to look like, what I want to go on, how I want it to play out, and the kind of story to that, and the kind of basis of the video. So as that became more and more the prominent point of my video, it became more easier and more convenient to do these things for what I believed was the sake of the video, which is fucked. It just became so much easier for me to do it like that when I had this plan in this video that I could 100% execute it. That's why it became, there are sections of videos and all this shit that's gone on, because I had a plan of how I wanted it to play out and I was making it play out that way.
Because I'm going to be honest, like
If you
I
understand what
struggle
I'm trying to
to
say.
understand how you're going to be able to keep that balance of genuine live gameplay and scripted scenes for it. It just seems to me that it'd be much easier to go either one way or the other, because or otherwise you've just got the, because you are, like I said, you are a very talented content creator. I am interested to see
Thank you.
what you come up with in the future, because I personally, for me myself, as much as I love watching, or I loved watching Frankie's videos, I've always found I'm more drawn to the videos where I believe it is just genuine, unscripted content. Like
Yeah.
I made the comment the other day, Mr. Moon's latest video, the one where he was dealing with the corporation and that. It just didn't have the same vibe for me because it just felt more scripted. Whereas Mr. Moon's
Yeah.
old stuff, where it was just raw, spontaneous, him and Ciao, just that was the stuff that blew me away. I just, I
Yeah.
really, and if you could explain how it's going to happen, the merge between the live gameplay and your scripted stuff.
I want the scripted part to tell a story, and I want the, I don't know how, live action, or I don't know how. For the sake of this video, this talk will say fake, which is staged,
Mm.
and real, which is real. I want the fake bits to tell a story, with the real bits keeping the authenticity, because I know what you're saying. When things are completely staged, it doesn't have the same feeling. It doesn't have
Yep.
the same entertainment levels if you know that everything's faked and it's just been set there for that, it's planned. That's why I want to keep it mingled together, because I think some people really enjoy the staged bits, the storytelling, the
Oh, no
music, the
doubt. Look at how excited
cinematics, and
people are for Frankie to be coming back.
exactly. But then some people don't really care for that at all. If it's there, fine, whatever. But they're looking for the high octane, the real gameplay, which is why I want to keep it together, because I want to keep the real content showing Daisy and keeping the authenticity, and that is the video. But I want the fake parts to wrap it all together and keep it in a story, if that makes sense.
Yeah. Yep. Dr. V93 says, and he mentions a couple of names in here that I'm going to omit because I don't want to get into he said, she said, and all the rest of it. But he's basically saying that all of the new Dayz YouTubers do this stuff. And he mentions a couple of names, and that someone, he's got a friend that used to admin on their server and left after he saw what they were posting in their admin channel. And that is, something that I think a lot of people are wondering who else does it. And like I said, I don't want to get into any name throwing, but I don't think you're
Of
the only one.
course.
We all know about the issue with JLK using the ESP.
Yeah.
You now, I'm certain there'll be more in the future, but I think
when you've done it yourself, it's very easy. When you edit videos, I don't know how to describe this without sounding like I'm blowing my own dick, but when you've edited videos for quite a while and you know how it all works and you know how you cut and slice things to make them look more organic when it is fake, it's very easy to see in someone else's video when they've done that, which to the normal person you wouldn't pick up on. But I'm not going into names because at the end of the day, this is about what I've done, not what other
yes,
people are doing.
thank you.
But I know, and I'm not trying to throw blame away from me. I know it's a lot more prevalent than people think it.
Yep.
I know there's a lot more of it going on than people know.
Look, I think it was my
But
friend
people are enjoying
Turbo
those videos.
who said it, in that he honestly feels that content creators should not be admins of servers.
I don't know whether I'd agree with that. I think we're going to see. Because either I'm going to completely fuck it up or I'm not, if you know what I mean.
Yep.
And people are going to have to see. Because no one can see into the future. I don't think that's true. Because I know a lot of content creators are so passionate about the game.
Okay, let me
Some
add a
content
caveat
creators,
to it. Content creators should not have access to admin tools on a server.
I think for a lot of admins, that's somewhat correct. Yeah.
Yep.
I think when the pressure for content is so high, it's very easy to go, no one's going to notice this time.
Now, I've got
But
a question here from a guy by the name of Scattle. And he says, "Hi, my name is Scattle. I played with a group called Blackwater on Mylo's servers. We encountered many situations with Mylo abusing on his server. One day it was enough for us, and we called him out with a video and a Reddit post with proof of everything. Within minutes, we all got banned, and also people related to us. I personally got IP banned off the server, banned off the Discord, and IP banned off the forums, meaning I could not do a ban appeal. I'm just wondering if Mylo regrets the decision to ban us when we provided clear evidence instead of trying to explain himself. I also wonder if he wants to be more open that videos are scripted, and also the idea of using willing participants as actors in the video. Nonetheless, I do not wish harm nor any ill intent on Mylo."
I want to start off with I don't completely remember the situation because it's been quite a while and there's been a lot of clans that have been banned. If he'll get in contact with me, I'm willing to go through it all. And because I don't deal with bans on the
Yep.
servers, I don't deal with who gets banned on the Discord, who gets banned on the website. That's why we have an admin. That's what they do. I don't personally deal with bans. So it wouldn't have been me who pulled the trigger on that. But I'm willing to go through and look at exactly what happened. And if it is all legit on their side, then I don't have a problem with unbanning them because they shouldn't be banned in the
There
first
is a
place.
comment from another person, Tuppy Wuppy, who says, "Yeah, I know you guys, and there is a lot more to your story than this, and not in your favour." But I want to go back to his point, and he raises a very, very good his question, and he raises a very good point in there, that with someone of your reputation, and I don't mean your reputation for cheating using admin tools, I mean your reputation as a skilled content creator. If you put a call out in your Discord that I need actors for an upcoming video, mate, you would have people falling over them fucking selves to line up to do it. So, and
Oh,
they would be
100%. Yeah.
willingly, happy to let you use God mode or anything like that, in the hope of being, getting a shout out, a credit, special thanks to such and such. Because I know you're probably wondering on how you can make a disclaimer to let people know that this is entertainment and not, just pure let's
Yeah.
play sort of stuff. And I think that's the way you do it. Not burying a little comment at the very, very end of your information section, which is very cheeky. But I'll pay it. I'll
That's
pay it.
the wrong way.
I'll pay it, mate. It's
Because
playing the game of YouTube. YouTube is a game. It's all about the views and all the rest of it. And there was a disclaimer, but I think just at the end of it, you don't need to say it at the beginning because you want people to get immersed into the video, into the storyline, and just
that's the whole point.
And then to turn around and say,
that's the fine line.
This was a video recorded on special thanks to the actors who helped create this video for you, and you list their names, and just do a public post. I think once that this is how I intend to do my videos, and make sure everyone in your Discord is aware of that. But if you put a call out for actors, mate, you'd have people falling over themselves to line up to be in your next video. They'd be fucking hyped to do it.
Going back to the point of the disclaimer, the original reason that it's buried right the way down there and it's not in the video or anything like that is because I thought that if people want to find it, they'll find it. If you want to know about the video, the description. It's the description of the video. And it states in the description of the video that parts of it are staged. In my mind, that was how it should be. But looking at people's kind of response to that, that's not how people think it should be. So that is going to change. That will need to change.
We all do things that, admittedly, you've had a few of them, but we all have made mistakes. Like I think I said to you when we chatted earlier this week about I did a video called Why Lone Wolves Need a Second Account. And at the time, I thought I was a fucking brainiac and I was the smartest man and people were going to love this video. And I posted it on Reddit expecting all this adulation. And oh my fucking God, I had people telling me to die of cancer. And I sat there.
Oh,
and
trust me, I know that right now.
I bet you do, buddy. I bet you do. But I read every single comment. And after I stripped away the hate and the fucking go kill yourselves, there were some comments you just ignore because it's just pure toxic. There was no point to it. But the majority of people were like, they might have called me every name under the sun, but they explained why what I was doing was wrong. And it was a light bulb moment in my head, and I was fucking horrified. And I don't think I've logged into my second account in Dayz I can't remember. I don't even know if I can still log into that Steam account. It's been that fucking long since I touched it.
Yeah.
But it scared the shit out of me. And even when I was doing a trader on Dayz Down Under, I thought about getting my second account back up and just having it in the base to trade. But I'm still that fucking scared of using a second account in Dayz from the hate I copped.
That's understandable.
And it was legitimate hate. Yeah. It was, I just hadn't considered something that was blindingly obvious to everyone else. And I know some people out there are probably struggling and going, but how could he not see it? Sometimes your ego, maybe, like in my case, it was that, like I said, I thought I was the smartest guy ever and people were going to love this video, and it backfired on me fucking massively. But I made a response video to it, and I put the comments up and everything, and I said, you guys were right, I'm wrong. I'm sorry, I got this very fucking wrong. And most people were understanding of that, but it happens. Ego is probably not the right word, but you come up with an idea and you convince yourself it's a fucking good idea. And
you never realize that what you're doing is stupid until it's too late.
Yeah.
The brain is very, very good at going, yeah, that's a good idea. Do it. Go. And then off you go, and suddenly you've fallen off a cliff and you're in the middle of buttfuck nowhere and everyone's shouting at you.
Now, Topher Jack comes in with a question. If not called out about the cheating abuse, would he honestly have ever stopped cheating if he was able to keep getting away with it? Honestly, think about that answer really hard before you answer, please. And I'm going to preface this with, this video is not the first occasion where people have called you out for shenanigans in your videos.
No.
And yet you still kept on doing it.
Yeah. that is the underlying point that it's happened multiple times now.
Yep.
But if you look at my upload history, you'll slowly see that it gets slower and slower and slower. For quite a while now, I haven't been enjoying Daisy or really video editing or any of it. It's just felt like something I need to just do
I'm
every
going
now
to
and
ask
then.
a hard question now. Were you hoping people would just forget?
It's always easier to just pretend like it never happened and move on and hope
Yep.
that everyone just forgets and everyone loves you again. But I think now I don't want to do that. I don't want to be the guy who's just cheesy as fuck and just everyone forgets about it in a
Look,
while and then
you're
off he
doing
goes
this
again
interview, mate.
and
You're
then
doing this interview, and that's a you didn't have to. So
yeah.
that's proof right there that you are stepping up to the plate.
Yeah. Because before it's never really while I have what's the term for it? While I have addressed it, I've never talked about it, if you know what I
Yeah.
mean. Well, if people have asked me, I've told them, but it's never been publicly talked about,
Hmm.
which is something at this stage that I feel like it needs to happen.
Yeah.
Because I'm not enjoying this, regardless of every other reason I'm doing this. I'm not enjoying doing what I was doing.
Will did.
And
Sorry.
if I'm not even enjoying it, there's no point, if you know what I mean. Regardless of every other reason, if even I'm not enjoying it, then there's no reason left to keep doing it.
Will Dean says, personally, I just want to hear his point on it. I would like to know if Mylo will ever post again, and why did he just disappear? Well, you explained why you disappeared there. I would like to see the return of Mylo, obviously without the cheating, but he seems like a decent guy and deserves another chance. Don't really care if it's scripted. Come back or at least post something.
At the end of the day, I just want to entertain people. I want to give people something to watch that might brighten their day or might spark something for them to go do something or whatever it is. I I'm not leaving. I will come back, but it might be some time because I need to think about how this needs to be properly done now because I've kind of got one shot. I've burnt every other bridge trying to run away from this massive fucking fire. But at this point, I've kind of got one chance. If I fuck this up, then I'm pretty sure that's just it. So I do need to have some time to think about how everything should be done
I
properly.
don't think you are right on that. I think people are more forgiving than you think. We've only got to look at JLK. We mentioned him earlier. And at the time I did the interview with him, he was sitting on just over 14,000 subscribers, and he's now at 90,000 subscribers. So as long as you're making good content that people enjoy, people will watch, mate.
Yeah, I suppose you're right, but it's got to be content that I enjoy making,
Yeah.
and I'm not enjoying all this fake shit anymore. I'm really not.
Sus Night.
So I need to
Sorry.
go for it, mate. Go for it.
Sus Knight says, what was the reason for him to come back after 5 months of silence? You sort of explained it.
I felt like I had to because I was getting so many messages of where have I gone? We need a new video. All these people saying stupid shit that I took too seriously, and I just felt like I didn't have a choice. I had to, which is ridiculous looking back on it now. And I'm sure if there are any other content creators out there, if they've ever, I suppose for them, it would be creative block. But if they've ever had that, there is always a pressure of everything I've worked for is going to come crumbling down if I don't just keep pushing. It's, I felt like I had to, else everything was going to disappear. I felt like it was just going to end if I didn't. So I felt like I had to right there and then, else I was risking everything by being gone for so long.
Yep.
So it was incredibly forced in just I forced myself, that's what I mean. it was just all very forced because I felt like I had to, because in my own brain I made it so much more disastrous than it actually was if I didn't.
Now, he also asks another question. Why did you delete the latest video?
That was purely from comments and things that have happened since then. Because I've got people messaging me. I've got people trying to DDoS the servers. I've got people trying to dox me with personal information. I've got people trying to find out who my family are, where my family live, like where my parents are, what they do as jobs and stuff. They're trying to dox me and my family. And there were so many comments about, I don't know if I can even talk about it here, but people wanting to do certain things to me and my family and phone where my parents live and set the house on fire in the middle of the night. And like, it was just too much. When you have the police turn up at your door because someone's phoned some ridiculous threat into the police, and armed police turn up at your door over the sake of a video, that was the point where I realized that I just want that video gone. I don't want any more of this. Because I haven't been able to sleep in days for the pure fact that it feels like there are people that are just out to get me now. It feels like something serious, something in real life serious is going to happen. If you understand what I mean. That's why the video disappeared, because it all just started to get too real. Everything started to get too personal. It was impossible to switch between a video online and my real life when stuff like that started to come through. When you start getting people adding you on your actual Facebook account, when you start getting weird emails, like I said, when armed police turn up at your house, when people start trying to find out where your parents live and get odd bits of information about like their middle names and like what their parents were called and where they used to live, and it just gets too much. I panicked, and the only thing that I had control of at that time was whether new people could see that video. So it got set to private because I didn't want more, and I didn't want any more people finding that video and doing what other people already were and already are.
I think some people
So
need
that's why
to
the video went private.
take a step back and remember this is just a video game. No one was hurt, no one was killed, no one was harmed. Yes, some people got fucked over in the game, but yeah, to go to that level, it's kind of reminiscent of when I interviewed Brian Hicks and sort of stuff he used to cop on a daily basis from haters and trolls and just other people with, yeah, people just need to, that's ridiculous that people are going to that level.
It's very twisted. I know what I've done is wrong, but I don't think what I've done justifies this extreme level of my personal life invasion. I know what I've done is incredibly shitty, really fucking shitty, and there's no two ways about that. But I don't feel it's fair to phone threats into the police so they come to my door at 4 o'clock in the morning to threaten my family and try and find out information about my parents. I don't think that's justified for what I've done. And I'm not trying to say what I've done isn't bad, because I know it is. I'm well aware of the fucked shit that I've done. I just don't want this being brought to my family.
Yeah, and that's fair enough, mate. That is. Shampoo Dude says, props to him for willing to be on this show. Will he stop scripting, abusing powers in his videos? You've explained that already. But this next part, if he doesn't, what will he do to show the audience that they are in fact scripted or not legitimate footage of the normal game? I don't mind scripted videos as long as the maker is transparent.
That's something that I need time to think about, because I need to think about a proper way in the videos. And this is going to require asking a lot of people and their opinion on it and looking at a lot of other content creators and how they do it. Because I need to figure out a way to properly and correctly inform people of what the situation of that video is without ruining the immersion of the video. Like you said earlier, I don't want some massive blaring sign with fucking alert signs and fucking lasers going on, whatever it is, with some massive thing of like this video scripted, because that instantly ruins the video. But I don't want it to be hidden. Not anymore. I'm not trying to hide it. I just need to find the correct way to implement it into my style of videos, which is going to take time. I need to try a lot of things. I need to ask a lot of people, and I'm not exactly sure how it's going to be done, but there will be some sort of
I think one of the
disclaimer.
first things you can do is, and this is a tip I picked up from a channel called Devon Nash. In the first couple of lines of the comments that you put on a video when it's uploaded, when a person actually clicks on the video, those first couple of lines actually show at the top, or they used to.
Okay.
So people could see, and all it just needs to be is this is a scripted or have whatever wording you come up with, made for entertainment purposes. This
Yeah.
may include stuff that is acted, whatever. I don't know. That wording you can work out later, but that way it shows there.
I
And then
think
at the end of it, just do what we talked about before, where you thank the actors and
yeah. Yeah,
because
of
a
course.
lot of people have
I
brought up
think
the fact of you shooting the grenade on the guy's vest in the video, and Rab Plays has done a video that actually debunked that that's possible in the game. But I personally think it's
there
a fucking amazing piece of footage, for a storyline thing. Yeah, well, there's so many things we wish we could do in DayZ, and to tell a story time video. I personally love the idea.
oh, Rav Plays. That's a name that I haven't heard for a while. That kid has always been trying to cause issues, but I'm not trying to talk about that right now. But obviously that section of the video is scripted. That's obvious when you can't shoot a grenade off of someone's vest. You used to be able to, but you
Yeah,
can't. But it's something that in my brain, that looks really cool. That's unique. That's something I want to do in a video. So it was
yeah.
done. And there are scripts that you can run. I've on servers or some sort of mod. Fuck knows where it was from. But you can, that is a thing that can be done with mods, but we aren't running those
Yeah.
mods. I don't even know if it's a thing anymore. I'll have to try and look into it, but I'm pretty sure there is something out there that allows you to do that.
Well,
But that's not definitive. I'm not saying that that's
yeah.
100% because I honestly can't remember.
Well, speaking of Rav, he does actually have a question, and his question is: do you still enjoy playing DayZ, or do you just do it for the money?
If people understood how terrible YouTube money is right now, there would be no questions to whether I play DayZ for money. Because YouTube money is horrific.
Yeah,
If I was doing it for money, I would be uploading a lot more clickbaited or clickbaity videos a lot more often. I wouldn't be spending weeks and weeks on a single 20-minute video because that's just not financially a smart idea. Like I said earlier, there's so many more things that I could do to make more money in a shorter amount of time. If I was only in it for money, I wouldn't waste my time uploading DayZ videos
it's a
because
niche
they're just
market.
not.
They don't perform
It is.
massively.
I would be fucking uploading how to make green slime and squishing it in people's ears or some shit. I don't know. Whatever the kids watch on
Hot
YouTube.
knife
But
burning
there's
through
so many
DayZ.
more. Oh, 100%. Yeah. Hot knife burning through my left testicle.
Don't say that, mate. People will fucking
There's.
ask you to do that video.
Oh, Christ. That's coming soon. There's so many other ways to make better money. And coming to the point of whether I still enjoy DayZ, like I said earlier, I kind of stopped enjoying DayZ with all the shit
Yeah,
that I was doing. But it's going to come back. It will do when everything is back to how it should be, as in the way I play and the way my videos are and how it's all arranged, or whatever the word for it, how it all comes together, when that's back to how it should be, I'll start enjoying DayZ again.
Er-
That's pretty much all I can say for that.
Erno comes in with a question. Why do you keep deleting videos when being called out on admin abuse and then ignore it and not being open about it? He said, I personally believe there should be a strong disclaimer at the start of the video that it's scripted and not some small text at the bottom of a description, which was just added because people kept calling him out on it. Yeah.
Like the last bit of his comment, like we discussed, I think he's right.
Yep.
With that disclaimer, there needs to be something prominent, something that really is hard to miss. Because I don't want to pussyfoot around it anymore. I don't want to try and almost cover it up and hide it. I want to be brutally honest with that. The bits that are recorded that aren't 100% real gameplay is going to be transparent. And he said about removing videos and stuff like that. And we came to this point earlier. It's easier to run, it's easier to hide, and it's easier to hope that people forget.
Yeah.
That's why I was doing that, because it's easier to just run and hide.
Kudos for admitting it, mate.
And that's not something I'm proud of.
Kudos for admitting it. That is the end of the viewer questions, mate. I think we've pretty much covered most of what we wanted to talk about. And I added in my bits there, but just to recap it, you fucked up. You've owned up to it, so kudos to doing that. I think the only other thing I do want to talk about is when a lot of people reached out to me and said, "Boy, you just go Google MTAS on Reddit," and there's a lot of other stuff that comes up about the servers and the admin behavior on the servers when you Google it. What are you doing about that as well? Because it seems like there's a bit of a toxic culture on the MTAS servers.
We have it's very hard to bring people that you don't know in real life that have just applied on a form onto a server and know exactly the kind of person they are. A lot of these Reddit things are me, my videos.
Yep.
And that's obvious when you search it up. There are clips of other admins. Every single clip you see, every single admin in person, or in whatever the term for it, in subject of that video, is not an admin on our servers anymore. Because when it's hard to describe, I'm not the one who brings admins onto the server, and I'm not the person who removes them either. I don't deal with bringing new people in or having to ask people to leave. But there has been a lot of issues. There's countless videos on YouTube of certain admins doing certain things, and they were removed for that. There isn't an admin on my team right now that has done anything wrong, and I'm sure of that.
Yep.
Because I know these admins the best out of any of the admins I've ever had on my servers. But at the end of the day, I trust all of them, but it's impossible for me to know what they're going to do.
Now, I did actually realise that I had a filter on my comments, which was comments I hadn't responded to, and there were a few more questions, some people I did actually respond to.
Okay.
One of them is from one of the legends of the DayZ community, the unsung heroes, Asmondian, who makes those amazing guides that he posts on Twitter. His comment is, I think it's worth interviewing him in the sense that it's definitely a big achievement, spotlights of the flash from a journalistic point of view. There is a lot of people that really want to hear what he has to say about the, in my opinion, undeniable at this point, accusations of admin abuse and cheating, and the spotlight offers that opportunity. Trying not to be redundant with the obvious questions already published, what, if any, influence did Frankie have on your style of videos?
Massive.
Yep.
That's
abundantly clear.
One of the main reasons Yeah, it's one of the main reasons that I even started playing Daisy to begin with. His There's something so captivating about his videos, the way he edits, the music, the stories, everything. There's something so pitch perfect about all of it. And when you this isn't an excuse. This explains, but it doesn't excuse what I've done. I just want to say that before I say this. When I learnt that what he does is scripted, part of me went, I can do that too, which slightly explains why I've done what I've done, but it doesn't excuse what I've done, if that makes sense.
Why do you think scripted videos generate so much interest in the audience?
Because a lot more people, when you know your community well, you know what people want to see. When you script a video, you can show them exactly what they want to see. It's why they get so much more attention because they are more,
Entertaining.
they're just, I don't know whether I'd say entertaining because there are some people that are just so abundantly entertaining just by their personality, but they're much more appealing off the bat for someone to
Yep.
watch if it's what they want to see completely through and through. I think that's the reason they're more popular,
Yeah.
but I don't know that for sure. That's just my opinion.
Now, he does have a question here that's a bit of a loaded one. Do you know anyone else with this same style, but that doesn't say it openly?
Yes, I do, but this interview isn't about dragging other people down with me. I'm not trying to
Good
mask what
answer.
I've done with throwing other people under the
Good
bus.
answer.
I'm
I wanted to ask the question because it was
probably
Asmondian that asked, but that's a good answer. I think and there,
I'm probably
yeah,
aware of about 5 or 6 fairly decently sized content creators who do very similar things. But like I said, I'm not trying to throw anyone else under the
yep.
bus. It's not what it's about.
He says, "Is the game quite profitable for you?" I ask this because think that here lies one of the main disadvantages for those who try to create content in a less manipulative way and who really strive for that exciting and epic content that they get after hours and hours of spontaneous gameplay. Do you understand the criticism under this reasoning?
100%. But Daisy and Daisy content creation is not profitable. Obviously, it is profitable, but not anything significant whatsoever. The money on it is so low. It's not even a talking point how much money you make from this kind of thing. Because without sponsorships, YouTube videos make fuck all money unless you're bringing in millions of views. And that's just fact. It's not profitable at all,
It's
really.
true, and like I know I'm a very very small channel, very niche, but in 5 years of doing YouTube videos, I actually cashed my first YouTube check a few weeks back, and it was $100, $102 and some amount of cents, and
There's really not a lot of
no.
money in it.
Most people don't do DayZ videos for money. You do it as more of a marketing
No.
tool to help drive traffic to your Twitch if you do Twitch, or you do it out of passion.
Yeah. Or to your servers.
And, this series of videos
Was there a
will probably get less than 1,000 people watch it, but I do it because it's a passion project of mine.
Yeah, of course. Was there another part to that question?
No, it was just, do you understand the criticism under this reasoning, which you said, yeah. His last question is,
Yeah.
do you have a group of,
Oh,
sorry?
just before we move on, he said about compared to people who spend hours and
Yeah,
hours getting the footage. The difference between the content is obviously I don't know exactly how many hours a certain person puts into a video, but the difference in times, I really wouldn't say there's that much difference in time. I might record less footage for a shorter time because I've already got it planned out and I don't need to hope that something good happens, if you know what I mean. But then I'll spend a lot of time editing it with such heavy editing that I could record 2 hours of footage. Usually I record about 30 or 40
Hmm.
per video, but I could record 2 hours of footage and then spend the next 2, 3 weeks just editing that.
Yep.
Whereas most people who make other kinds of content, that's not required. They don't do that. So I wouldn't say that the time is that different, but obviously I don't know how much time someone's put into each
Yep.
video. It's impossible to know unless you ask them.
And his last question is, do you have a group of regular people helping you, or do you do it all by yourself, recording, creating the stories, materialize stuff within the server, editing, etc.?
I record everything myself. I edit it. I edit everything myself. I get the licenses for the music myself. I work on the server. I've got 2 other people who work on the server with me, and they are angels. One of them's my last, and the other one's a guy named Lewis. He's oh god, godsend. But everything to do with the YouTube channel and a lot of the stuff to do with the server is only me. But the difference is we have a whole admin team on the Discord who do stuff in game for me, and they do a hell of a lot. And obviously, there's Lewis and Scarlett who work on the servers too. They do a hell of a lot. So the only thing that is purely me is the YouTube channel, the video recording, the editing, the music. All of that is just me. But everything else, it's me and my team.
Taz GG, why during the raid at Camarovo docks where we counter raided 3 to 4 of their helis, all of a sudden my clan of 10 people all crash? Then we log in, a heli is taking off their raid and flying off. We've shot many helis down, and that one had some sort of sussery to it. The question, were you spawning the
I
helicopters because they came too fast for us killing them?
No, we weren't spawning the helicopters. It was me and some random clan that had been split into 2 groups. And I remember the exact reason why everyone crashed because we all did too. That's why we lost the first helicopter. But to emphasize on the clans, we had one clan at the black market trade, the helicopter trader, where you can buy helicopters. They were evac team, so they were just going to keep bringing helicopters in till we were out. And we were on this kind of sky base on the roof, and about 20 people maybe crashed all at the same time. I'm not sure whether you're aware of it, but there's a bug in DayZ currently with hand grenades.
Yes. Let's
When they
let's
explode, everyone in the vicinity
yep.
crashes. And I don't think one of the people on our team knew that, as they threw a grenade down the staircase, and simultaneously about 20 odd people just from the server gone.
Yep.
That's the reason why everyone crashed. There was a lot of money spent on helicopters that day. I was the only person there who was an admin. The rest of the people there were just random clans.
Were you creating money to buy helicopters?
No, I was completely separate from them. That was their own money.
Okay.
I was just running with them. I had my own set of gear, my own gun, my own clothes, all that, but everything else, all the other assets that were used were completely theirs.
Papa Rio. So I'm one of the victims from Mylo's admin abuse twice. After playing for several months on his server, he raided our clan base and made a huge and successful video out of it. But not just him personally was abusing his powers. He also included other members of his staff into this. An admin teleported, without being asked there, into our base a day before the raid, who teleported in every room to check out where is what. We even have that on video. Mylo's excuse was that this particular admin had a stroke and therefore does not remember the next day what he did the day before. What a joke. Other abusers at this
That's
sorry?
no, keep going, mate.
Oh.
Sorry, keep going.
Other abusers at this raid was crashing and rolling back the server, teleporting around, using admin map and many more things. So my serious question is, why the fuck did he not just stage the videos? As a clan, this was shortly before a wipe. We would have been happy to help him out to make a cool video. Instead, he uses his admin powers to generate content instead of involving the community he has that would be happy to help out. Because on almost every video, there is a backlash of threads in Reddit with proof that he indeed abuses his power. I don't want to hear any other excuses, and no, on this particular video, I did not abuse my admin powers or damage my own community. I just want to hear the truth out of his mouth for once. So you obviously recall that situation?
Yes. Going back to the most ridiculous part of that, the claim that the admin had a stroke the day before and wouldn't remember that. That's ridiculous. I know exactly where that came from. basically, there were 2 admins with me when we went for the base raid. It was me, my lass, and a guy named Sandy Rowe. He's a 63-year-old Irish man. He's lovely. The joke was, well, this is real. He did have a stroke a long time ago. The joke was that he wouldn't have remembered what he had done that day because he's had a stroke, not because he had a stroke that day. I don't know how to perfectly describe
No,
that, but that was
you're
a
getting it
joke.
across. I'm
The
understanding
whole
it.
He's a 63-year-old man who plays the game for enjoyment. I didn't know that he had been at that base the day before until after the raid. He's not that kind of person. Obviously, this is my word against his, so anyone can take what they want. But Sandy is not like that. He would have no reason to go scouting out and flying through someone's base to see what they've got. When at the end of the day, we raided the entire base from bottom to top. Every room was blown open. There was no need to know what was in there beforehand. It's not like we cherry picked certain rooms. Everything was
Did you
opened.
spawn stuff for the raid?
Yes, that is true. Before the raid, I geared everyone.
Yep.
Because that was another case of I have an image in my head and this is how I'm going to recreate it.
Yep.
There were many other issues with that clan on the server, which is why they were picked at that point, but that's not an excuse
And that's
for what
definitely
happened.
not the way you should handle.
No.
Yeah, you're a very naughty boy for that
No,
one.
I understand that now. I'm well
After
aware.
the interview, you're going to go get a bootlace. You're going to wet it, and you're going to give yourself 1,000 lashes over the dick.
Oh, now this is getting spicy. Why don't you start off like this?
Okay. Rex Talbot, dude literally deleted his last video because people were calling him out at an obvious usage of God mode. And from what I heard, that's like for the 3rd time now as well. Last time, some former admins of his apparently even exposed him on Reddit via a video of Mylo spawning weapons during a PvP fight. But for some reason, people just ignored it. How does this guy still have any credibility, and how are people still eating it up? So this is one of the harsher comments on there, but you can understand the frustration he feels.
Yeah, I'm well aware, and it's justified. But I don't know really where to start with this one. But there was a clip on Reddit of me supposedly spawning weapons in.
Yep.
I think there was 3 different versions of it at one point. The people who recorded that were banned beforehand because of admin abuse. A lot of it was taken out of context and very cleverly edited and manipulated. There is some truth to that, but it's not being all the other things that are just blatant and yes, they are real. That one isn't as truthful as it looks. That one was very cleverly edited and the timings were rearranged and clips were put in different orders to make it look a hell of a lot worse than it actually was. But what were the other points? Yes, this has happened multiple times, which is why it's being addressed now, because I don't want to keep running. I don't want to keep hiding, which we said earlier. There was something else in his video.
Look, that was the last question, and there's obviously you said that you got bored because you had all those powers. I can understand that, because I honestly, and this is one thing I do struggle with as to how you ended up at this point, because I couldn't imagine playing DayZ without being scared. People who watch me when I stream, they know how fucking scared I do get playing the game. I jump, I scream, I all the rest of it. I rage when I die, and I rage when I find I've been raided. But I understand that that is what makes this game so amazing. So
Exactly.
yeah, and I really hope you do discover a love for it again. And that should, if just look to some of the other content creators that are beyond reproach, like Fubar Bundy, the Running Man. The sort of content that they're able to make out of genuine interactions should be enough inspiration for you. I'm really,
Yeah.
intrigued, and I will be honest and say I'm a bit worried. I worry that the temptation will come back again just to make that video sing, that you might be tempted
Yeah.
to do something. I highly encourage you to remove yourself from the admin config tools or whatever it's called.
Yeah. I think you're right.
Just to remove that and get some people who can be trusted to, basically keep you away from that piece of candy. It's a bit like a drug. Um, you know,
Yeah.
use those
Yeah, I
powers
think
for
you're right.
good. Use it to create some epic fucking quality scripted content, because people have said it, and I'm certain. We were talking about it on the podcast earlier, and I said there's a 10% on this side who are he's a prick, he's a cunt, he should fucking die, and there's 10% on this side who are fuck you, Mylo's the best, and the other 80% in the middle. We just want to see what's good for Dayz. And your
Yeah.
content,
Yeah.
we had people talk in the comments there saying that you're the reason they bought the game, and right or wrong, you did some stupid shit, mate, and there's no denying that, and you've admitted that
Yeah.
yourself.
No.
But right or wrong, you have been good for the game, just like all the rest of the content creators out there. And if there's anyone else out there who is doing this shit, scripting, admin abuse to make their videos better, stop it. If I can, I'll try and put up the Michael Jordan bloody thing of stop it.
Stop it. Just stop.
Yeah,
Get some help.
yeah. But don't be afraid to do scripted content. There's a market for it. And Dayz, especially with all the mods that are available now, is the perfect blank canvas for you to create the most amazing adventures. And I don't care whether it's real. Obviously, like I said, my preference is for real, genuine, oh my God, I can't
Yeah.
believe that happened. But at the same time, I still remember how in love I was watching the magic of Frankie's videos. And when you were talking about his videos and how amazing
Yeah.
they were, that's the word that sprung up in my mind. It was a magical time in my mind for me. Just seeing the shit this guy was doing in these videos. And I don't think I realized they were scripted at the time. Wasn't until later, and it was like,
No.
oh yeah, that sort of makes sense. And I've had questions on some other videos I've watched as well. Is this genuine or is this scripted or what? But either way, it's amazing Dayz content, and if it brings more people to this game that we all love, yourself included, then that's a win for Dayz. That's a win for you, and it's a win for everyone who loves the game.
Yeah. I agree.
And the
I think there's a time and a place for scripting.
and these people who are doxing
I
and
think there is
making
a market
threats
for
and
it.
fucking shit like that, again, stop it. Get some fucking help. I'll say it this time, because it's just a fucking video game. No one got killed. No laws that I'm aware of got broken. Yeah.
Yeah.
Mylo, any last words, buddy?
J- I just want to say before this ends that this isn't going to happen again. I know there are going to be people who watch every single frame of every video I
Oh
upload from now
yeah.
on out, trying to find one tiny little bit that isn't
Oh
right.
yeah. I think in your
But
mind you're
this
going to
isn't
be
happening
fucking
anymore.
fretting over every jump cut between scenes that you do. Every transition to be like, oh god, what am I
Oh,
transitioning from and
100%.
to? And
Yeah,
yeah.
100%. But if people want to see change, change is coming. I know some people are never going to change their opinion on me, and that's okay. I don't expect them to. But I just want to know, I just want to let people know that things are changing right now because I'm not enjoying it. No one's enjoying it. I want to entertain people. That's all I want is to entertain people, but I don't want to be hurting people
Don't, no, I'm going to stop
because
you
that's
there
what I was
because I
doing.
read the comments on the video before it got taken down, and people did still enjoy it, mate. People did still enjoy it.
But
This is
some people got hurt.
yes, and those people were in the towards the edges, not the full on extreme, but they were towards the edges. They didn't like the fact that they felt that you were pulling the wool over their eyes, and primarily this comes down to one point that innocent people got hurt. So I said no one got hurt.
That's exactly
Innocent
what I
people
mean.
got fucked over, but there were still
That's exactly
people.
what I mean by
The
hurting people.
overwhelming majority of comments on your videos, from what I recall, before it went down, were people who loved the fact that you'd uploaded again. So just remember that, mate.
Yeah.
Just remember that. No, don't do it again. You're a naughty boy. 1,000 lashes, like I said, wet bootlace and all. But people enjoy your content, and yeah.
Yeah. I genuinely really appreciate you having me here because I think a third party was needed. I don't think people would have taken the words that I said as well as if someone wasn't asking them of me, if you know what I mean. If someone wasn't asking what the community wanted to know, people wouldn't 100% believe what I was saying if it was on my own video by myself. I feel like people would have thought some people would have thought it was another manipulated video where I pick and choose the right things. And I just feel it's a lot better to have someone who reached out to the community on their own side and asked these people and then brought that back, if you know what I mean. I just feel like it was a lot better to have a third party. I think a lot more people
I'll give
are
you the
gonna
same advice
watch
I
this.
gave JLK though. I do still recommend you post something on your channel.
I'm going
Just
to. Yes.
you can point them to this interview if you don't want to recap
There
everything again, but just going on there saying a brief, doesn't need to be a war and peace, but just a few minutes of you explaining the situation,
yeah.
explaining the changes. Because, like I said, my video is going to be very niche. It will have a small reach. If you post something, that's going to be the biggest example that people who are going to watch. People are going to watch this interview and go, still don't believe him. He's a lying, cheating cunt. Like there was a couple of comments I read saying I shouldn't be interviewing you because you're a lying, cheating cunt. There's better people and yada yada yada. My reply to them was, my channel,
Yeah.
my passion project. I'll interview who the fuck I want. But
Yeah.
if you do something on your channel, that is going to speak volumes over and above.
Yeah.
Yeah,
When it's put in front of everyone who does watch the
yeah,
videos, when it's right there and it's not somewhere
yep.
else. Yeah, I think you're right. That will come
And maybe
soon.
even address
I'm
the
gonna have to.
situation with your servers.
Yeah,
That would probably be
I'm gonna
the
have to
main
think.
focus I think you need to do for something coming from your channels, that you're aware of these concerns. And some of them aren't legitimate. There's more to the story, but some of them we will be looking into, and probably
Yeah,
come up with a new way that people can report what they suspect may be admin abuse. Because as you said, you can deal with someone and then find out later that they were, people lived next door to that guy who had
we
those two
have.
girls trapped in his fucking basement for 17 or 20 years or whatever. Yeah.
Yeah, we have got a new system which is recent as of the past few days, where it's on the forums. If people want to report admin abuse, they do it on the forums, and it's locked. So only myself, my last, and our head admin Lewis can see it.
Who can ban someone?
So no one. I believe any of the admins can ban, the moderators can't. So admins and above can ban on the servers. Any of the moderating team can ban on
I
Discord.
think you need to, a good start would be a standard of it takes two admins to ban someone. No one admin can ban someone.
That's not a bad shout, actually.
And preferably another
That
admin.
is a
If
smart
it's
idea.
two admins who were involved in the situation, it needs to be someone who wasn't involved in the situation to come in and look at it
Yeah.
with calm eyes, without the emotion that may be involved from a cheeky cunt. And we all know how some people can be in Discord and that, they
Oh,
keyboard warriors
100%.
and all the rest of
Yeah.
it. But get someone, maybe your 63-year-old Irish guy. If he's that old, he's probably a bit wiser,
Yeah.
been around the block, and he'd be a good one
He's
to
fair.
come in and say, "Kids, settle down. Papa's got this,
Yeah.
and I'll sort it."
Oh, if you knew him, that is literally the perfect way to describe him. Papa's gonna sort it. But yeah. I think I've pretty much said everything that I need to say. If you've asked everything,
I don't know if you said those two magical words though.
um, love me.
No,
Oh, what am I missing? I've said thank
I'm.
you. Oh, fuck. I'm very
Oh,
sorry.
that's three words. That's even better. That's even better.
That is, I'm incredibly very sorry. I don't want to deceive people. I don't want people to look at what I'm doing as a scam. I don't want people to look at me like a joke. I don't want people to see this content and just blow it off. I just want to entertain people. I want to make people happy. I want people to see the videos and it make their day slightly better. That's all I want.
You're a very talented creator,
But I
mate,
don't wanna-
and I look forward to seeing the changes to your stuff in the future with interest. And very interested to see, like I said, how you're going to combine the two. But, mate, I wish you nothing but the best. We all make mistakes.
Thank you. You too,
I'm
mate.
46, about to turn 47. I've made so many fucking mistakes. You could write a book of it on it. But, we learn from our mistakes as well, and that's what you need to do, mate. Take some time, think about this.
Yeah.
Don't let the dickheads get to you, mate. There's some people you'll never reason with. Forget them and focus on the larger majority of people who just want to enjoy good DayZ content, mate, and know that no one was fucked over in the making of it.
Yeah, that's the goal.
All the best, everyone. I hope you enjoyed the interview. Please leave your comments. I'm certain you'll be having a look at a Mylo to see what people think of this. But yeah.
I will do. Yes, you will see me down there.
Brilliant. All the best, everyone. And ciao for now.